This video is for anyone that is suffering at the moment, anyone that just feels stuck, anyone that's going through anxiety and depression, anyone that's just in a super low place. This video is for you. Yesterday I did a live with a good friend of mine, Ricky Cooper, and the theme was Men's Health Week. And Ricky gave us some amazing wisdom and insights of how men can do things to help improve their lives, especially when it's not going the way that you want to. What also else Ricky touched on was how women can help. Women play a massive influence on a man's life, and all the women out there, you have men in your life, and at times we can see when people are not in a good place. We can sense their energy, we can see they're agitated, but sometimes our role as the loved one needs to adapt slightly. And Ricky shared some information on how we can change our approach to our loved ones if we can see that they are suffering. Sometimes nagging is not maybe the best way to do it, but that's the only way that you know. Sometimes trying to help too much actually puts the person off, and they just need someone else's thoughts, opinions, advice. So it's kind of assessing the situation and thinking, right, we've got our part to play as well. And if you don't feel like you're helping the matter, but you do love them, go and seek help also. So this is for people that are struggling, and we spoke yesterday about reaching out and telling your story and sharing with groups, sharing with individuals. But before all of that, the first thing we need to do is just highlight what is stressing us out, what is holding us back. And to do that, I'd really encourage to get a pen and paper out. Make some time for yourself, like set some time aside where you're not going to get distracted. All this stress going on in your life, just cement 30 minutes for you, and on that pen and paper write down everything that is stressing you, everything that's on your mind. Get it out and just get it down there. And what you'll find is once you start writing it, and be brave, because some of the things you don't want to write because you know it's really fearful, you know it is stressing you and it is causing a lot of grief in your life, but write it down. Keep writing, play some music, some calming music as well, that gets you into flow. And you'll see within a small amount of time, you'll be writing loads of things down. Little things that mostly would be insignificant, but when they're all combined, it all adds up. Emails, returning voicemails, getting work done for the boss. All these things can build up on top if we don't deal with them. So write them all down first of all. We then spoke about speaking to groups and individuals, and sometimes we're too scared to. Sometimes we're not ready to go into that vulnerable state. Sometimes it's hard to even admit it. And before that then, if you're not ready to speak, that's okay. But what you can do is listen. And this is where I really got out of my low point. I was in a really bad place a few years ago, and the first thing I was doing was locking myself in my room. I didn't want to see anyone. But within that time, I was just going on YouTube, and I was listening to people like Wayne Dyer. And Wayne Dyer's stories, like, they're incredible. And when you start listening to other people's stories, you start realizing actually some of the things that we're stressing on aren't actually too bad compared to what they're saying. But what you also hear is what they did about it. And some of the low points you can relate to, or some of the low points they went through, are exactly what you're going through at this moment. And you'll see how they overcome it and what they did next and how happy they are now. There's something really profound about listening to other people, which then feeds into the next bit, reaching out for help. We always say it's okay to speak about it. So we get on a piece of paper first, we then listen to stories. Next, I'd say, if we're looking for help, sometimes our loved ones are not the best people to reach out to, because there is judgment. They do take things in what you say, which can impact their life. So reach out to other people, and there's loads of coaches out there like myself that all we do is love surfing. There's no ever agenda at all. And this is where it is to trust your intuition when you are looking on these pages. Listen to their stories, read the captions, look at what they are saying and who they're connecting with. And if you can start relating to it, and be honest, like, let go if you think you're being weak or it's a bit woo-woo and stuff. Just listen to what they're saying and what they did. Then reach out. And I'm telling you, when you reach out for help, especially with people that are just providing education and are just providing service to help people, they will come back to you. I love receiving messages from people, And I will always give time for it. Ricky too, and loads of other coaches within my network. And that's just a small amount. You've got this all over the world. But reach out and just see, just literally just throw it. They don't know you, they're not going to judge you. They'll come back to you, that's for sure. And then your whole life can go in a new direction. So research, find out the people, then reach out. Next then is starting to look at the people that you're speaking to and what it is that you need to really tell them. And for guys out there, we do get ourselves in trouble with little things that turn into big things. Gambling, drinking, drugs. All of these things play a negative part in our life. The short term of that euphoric feeling when you're winning and the buzz that you get disappears quite quickly, and we chase it. But that chasing gets us in a bad state. And within time, that can affect on finances, that can then lead to stealing, that can lead to missing your work, which means you're not getting paid. Like, it's a spiral. And the one thing that you don't want to do is tell this to your loved ones, because you know that they're going to be meeting you with a lot more aggression, a lot more disappointment, a lot more stress bringing into your lives and their loved ones. They don't need it either. So to know that all these things that are deep, dark secrets, and you know it's not good for you, you can't even admit it to your friends anymore because it's got so bad. Say this, be brave, get that paper and just say it to the people. And there's always, I promise you, there is always a solution for it. And some of the things that might not be what you want at the moment will completely change when you can take ownership of these problems that you've got yourself into. Then you start identifying and coming out with your own strategies and solutions. And when you start putting them into action and you start seeing the impact it has on your happiness, on your health, and all the other things that come with it, you can start rebuilding that life that does put you in a good place and get you out of the dumps. And it's so powerful. So it's to be okay with what you've done. It's already happened, there's nothing you can do about it now. Go into the past and own it. Go and pull it here. Be brave, you've got someone supporting you now. And then after that, with the coaching, is to start focusing on what you do want out of life. Because there's all these things that we don't like doing, all these things that we haven't done and we want to do. Let's focus on a dream life. Let's let go of any restrictions and let go of any limiting beliefs and start getting creative. If you had anything you wanted, let's say that you had £2 million in your bank now and you was in this position, but that money was there, what would you do? And usually that can come in to help. That can be providing for other people. That could be buying a new house, getting out of the environment you're in at the moment. These are things then you want to happen. So that money doesn't need to be there, but these are still the wants. What we do is then work back from that and start now on focusing on where we can put our attention to make these things happen. And yesterday, Ricky also talked about groups, the power of community and sharing your story and listening to other people's stories and then coming together. You've got their back, they got yours. It's powerful. And it's to be okay knowing that there are loads of people out there that are going through the same stuff as you. There's to know that you're not the only person. There's millions of people all over the world that are struggling. And there's millions of people all over the world that are looking to help. And just think, once you start dealing with all of this and you start getting your life on track, which will happen, then that story becomes so much more powerful. All those low points and all the things that you regret and resent and been frustrated with now turn into amazing teachings and can inspire others and motivate others to make changes, knowing that what you did and what you did to overcome it can now impact the lives of others. And those others don't have to be strangers. Those others could be your loved ones. We spoke about parenting yesterday and what parents can do. So your actions are going to be met by your little ones paying attention. And that will become their truths, which gives you more meaning. It gives you more accountability. It gives you more reason to start making these steps. And then after that, it turns into your story. And what a story it is. If you zoom out in the grand scheme of things, the last 5 years have been terrible. But your life is expanded out to 70 years. That's just a small percentage. And that small percentage then makes this whole book, your story, much more valuable. Imagine if you just had a great, successful, easy life. That book would be boring, very boring. So just know that every negative there's a positive. If we can just zoom out of this terrible place we're in at the moment and zoom out, look at what made you happy before, look where you are now, what you want after, all of a sudden it all becomes one amazing experience. And know that you are in control of all of it. It all starts from just taking some time out for yourself, identifying what is holding you back. Start looking at other people and how they can help you. Listening to stories and reaching out, telling your story, and then sharing that after in terms of what you did. That changes everything. So if you are struggling at the moment, or females, if you've got a loved one, males, if you've got a loved one, share this. And that could be your role. That could be your role to help. But knowing that by getting someone else involved that is there to listen and support, your whole life can change. And I'm speaking with first-hand experience here as well. So leave a message. Please direct message me if you do need any help at all, and you'll get my time and attention, and you'll start seeing that there is always a positive outcome at the end of it all.